Again, my name is Sean O'Rourke. I am a current resident of Astoria, Queens, with my wife, our cat, and our dog. That's probably the most interesting part about my personal life, but I'll let you judge that as I get to other items. So as I like to introduce myself, I say I'm a cyber liability consultant, which essentially means I help companies prepare to be hacked. After spending 20 plus years trying to prevent that in many different forms and whatnot. I got tired of taking care of other people's technology about 6 years ago. And luckily I had two business partners who were very cool, whom Lane also worked with. And they agreed to let me do my Kung Fu travels, looking for my next great adventure. So I could start it by telling you I was conceived probably around January 1970, born in November 1970. For those who are sports fans, my mother has an apocryphal story because I don't really believe it's true, but she claims my very first word was ball. And that is fitting because the only thing I ever wanted to be was some sort of athlete. And while I was pretty good, I was not great. So I am a weekend warrior now, I do that in both CrossFit and obstacle course racing, for which I am a coach in both. And if anybody is in the New York area and is interested in joining a bunch of us crazies, we're going to do this City Field Spartan race on November 19th. We have a team called Spartans Assemble. For those who aren't Marvel fans, that is an ode to Captain America and the Avengers. And so far there are 9 of us, and I'm hoping to build the team to at least 12 to 15. We are not doing this competitively. We're doing this so that everybody will have a good time. We can actually, as a team, help each other, make sure we complete obstacles. And if we fail obstacles, we can help each other do the penalty burpees. And if you don't know what a burpee is, I congratulate you on not suffering through that particular exercise. The most interesting thing about me right now is actually my wife, who published a book earlier this year, which has been gaining traction. It's called Pancakes for Roger, a mentorship guide for slaying dragons. And while it's an ode to her late father, it's really a book about all the mentors and all the important people who came through her life with important pieces of information. And what we're doing with some of the proceeds is that they'll be donated to the University of Missouri Law School Veterans Clinic. It's one of 2 veterans clinics at law schools here in the United States, the other being Syracuse, that actually help veterans navigate the Veterans Affairs claims process. And that process takes, on average, 7.5 years to navigate. And so they help get veterans through that pro bono and help get their claims approved, or at least make it very difficult for the VA to deny a claim for a veteran. And right now, a lot of those claims are for recent veterans who are suing over or fighting for claims over fire pits, the damage done to their bodies by being around fire pits and whatnot. So if anybody has interest in either the book or learning more about the Veterans Clinic, feel free to reach out. I'll put my email address and phone number in the chat when I'm done. But it's actually very good cause. It's an amazing story of what they do, and it's an even worse story of what veterans have to go through for the VA process. And so just from a professional point of view, as I mentioned, I was in technology. I did have an IT firm after working with Lane. Lane drove me out of the old company we worked for. He was like, I'm done with you. I can't stand you anymore. Just leave, go start your own business and get out of here. And so I took 2 other coworkers and we actually did just that. That IT firm is still around. It's headquartered here in New York City. I still talk to my former partners, so the split was amicable. It's just that, as Fred can attest to, dealing with technology now is a millisecond by millisecond business. And I like kind of sleeping in on the weekends. And so what I did is I actually joined my wife's insurance brokerage firm to really help businesses prepare themselves for the inevitable. Because no matter how good your IT department or company is, it's just going to happen, either on purpose or by mistake. And the best thing to do, aside from building all the preventative elements, is preparing on that side. And so what I do is I work with companies to do that by putting their house in order to a certain extent. And then I use cyber insurance as one of those cheat tools to help companies navigate the repercussions of cyber incidents, because really that's where all the damage is done, is when the business side is not prepared, because there are laws on the books in all 50 states. Some states, 4 of them actually have explicit privacy laws. In fact, unfortunately, I have a client now who will be, who did not do the necessary steps to update their website, their cookies policy, and the notification to their consumers. So they violated the California Consumer Privacy Act, and in which case they got a letter from a law firm saying they were going to be sued in a class action lawsuit for $5,000 per Californian who visited their website. So luckily they do have cyber insurance. The insurance may cover that if they do decide to file a claim, if it gets to that point. But that's all because they didn't realize that they had to do work to update their website to be in compliance with the CCPA. And so from that perspective, the cyber insurance for me is that last stopgap to keep that stone from rolling down the hill and basically destroying your business. And because the tail on a cyber incident is years long, I take great pains to try to get the business to realize, stop pointing at the IT folks. It's not an IT problem, it's a business problem. And the sooner a business realizes that, the better position they're in to survive any kind of cyber incident on that front. And so that's it for me. I think that was about 8-9 minutes. If you have questions at the end, I'm more than happy to answer. I'd much rather, oh, and just so you know, these are my teams in no particular order. The Philadelphia Phillies, because they're still in the playoffs. The Philadelphia Flyers, because they've actually started 3-0 under their new head coach. I am a 76ers fan, but I don't watch a lot of pro basketball anymore. I mostly watch college basketball. And then the outlier is on professional football. I am a San Francisco 49ers fan. And that, the real quick story is, I actually grew up a Notre Dame fan, and one of my big time sports heroes was Joe Montana. So I followed him to the 49ers when he got drafted out of Notre Dame. So that's it. I'm happy to discuss cyber insurance, cyber security, or we can really get down to brass tacks and talk about why or why not, or why and why not the Phillies will win the World Series. So that's it.
I love it.